Hello, my fellow humans. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're new, thanks for joining us. We're all here sharing this human experience together. I do things differently here on this channel, so triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves. Remember, there is no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. And if the message happens to resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply grateful to be here sharing it with you. So today we are going to be doing a pick a card in regards to what do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say. I do try to do the coworkers and the boss one together, just like I try to do what do men secretly think of you, or why are they secretly attracted to you, and why are women secretly attracted to you. So there are a couple of readings that I try to do in tandem, just so you know, it's just kind of like a little series for you. So that's why we're doing this one. And yeah, let's go ahead and hop to your prayer, and we'll be getting into your reading today. I'm going to be using the messages from your spirit or your animal spirit guides by Stephen D. Farmer. Great deck. Very forward and blunt deck is what this one is. So I really do appreciate that. It's nice to have those very blunt decks in your collection if you collect them. All right, my beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading. You know, as we give ourselves in our jobs, in our careers, in our businesses, sometimes we feel like we're so keen on how others see us or how others are viewing us. And sometimes that can really affect what we're doing and what we're putting out. And it can make us feel like we're not doing a good enough job, or that there's something that we're missing. We all want to be liked, even though some of us say we don't. It's an inherent feeling that rises up from deep within because of societal constructs. We want to be loved and appreciated. We want to be valued and seen. But the world right now is so disconnected, and it's very selfish. Not selfish in the sense of self-love, but selfish in the sense of I'm only out for number one and not anybody else. And we can feel that when we go to work. We can feel that when we connect with other people, especially when these people see us on a regular basis. And it leaves us wanting something else. Freedom. It leaves us wanting that connection with our soul family. But it can also take us into the depths of darkness. Into that energy where we really don't believe that we're capable of anything. Of being seen, of having success, or even connecting with people who are on our same level. But we know that this is the illusion. We know that negativity is designed in that way. But that equally so, positivity can be our light through the darkness. So today I ask that you help lift our hearts and remind us that no matter what's coming into us from all different areas and all different angles, that when we stay grounded, knowing that we are worthy and deserving, and that is our inherent birthright, that we can and will accomplish anything and everything. As these words are spoken upon this tribe and onto this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Aseh. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. All right. Ooh, maybe if I can get it to stay in the holder. Okay. Hopefully it stays lit. It fell off. All right. Let me move this out of the way somewhere. And let's go ahead and shuffle. All right. What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? Source, what animal oracle card will help us better understand this message today? What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? Source, what would you like to share with us today? What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? Okay, thank you. What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? All right, source, pile number 1. So pile 1, what do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? What animal, spirit guide, oracle card will help us better understand this message today for pile 1? What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? Okay, thank you. All right, pile number 2. What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? What spirit guide, animal, oracle card is going to help us better understand this message today, source? What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? Okay, thank you. All right, pile number 3. What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? What spirit guide, animal, oracle deck or card is going to help us better understand this today? Thank you, source. All right, 1 second. Scratch my back. Okay. All right. Ooh, interesting. Now, before I even read this, like seeing the rattlesnake, they see you as a threat, okay? And that could be everybody that you work with, but I feel like there's one really powerful, strong energy coming in with this particular message, is that there's someone here who sees you as a threat. Like, you have so much potential and you have so much experience and you have so much wisdom at your beck and call that you are basically going through the ranks, and you're either getting a promotion soon or you have recently gotten a promotion, and there's someone here who feels like they deserve that over you. And I feel like you're actually really humble. I feel like you put in the work, you know you deserve it, but you're also not trying to rub it into everybody's faces. Like, this isn't something you're going around and being like, yeah, I got promoted, like, haha, screw the rest of you. Like, that's just not who you are. If it was announced that you were promoted, it wasn't because you announced it. It was because it was announced by maybe your bosses or the higher ups. But there's someone here who feels like you're a great threat, and that you're making a lot of noise, and that they have to back down now because you've been granted access to something or somewhere that they themselves were not. Okay, so that's a very specific message coming out right away. But with rattlesnake, it does say the experiences you're presently going through are an initiation to fulfilling your purpose as a healer. So very, very powerful energy coming in here, where your coworkers do secretly think that you have this ability to tap into what's going on with them. You can read a room. You are someone who picks up when someone's not feeling good or when someone's maybe struggling with something, and you bring a lot of healing and nurturing energy with you, okay? And with that, it's something that they look forward to. But you're also helping them shed old skins and old beliefs that otherwise wouldn't have happened, right? And it's not even necessarily that you're saying anything in particular, or that, you know, you're going out of your way to put healing energy on others. It's just your presence is incredibly healing. I do feel like your coworkers do secretly think that maybe, like, it's twofold. There's this energy where they feel like you're not doing exactly what you were meant to do. So where they're receiving healing energy from you, there's some that think that maybe you need to be doing something more with your healing abilities. And then there are others who feel like this is a good position for you because it allows you to connect emotionally with more people. So you could be in some kind of healing industry. So like a nurse, a doctor, or a psychologist, a psychiatrist, something along those lines. Or you could have access to where you're talking to different people on a regular basis, you know, like customer service or retail, or you're with a company where you do sales pitches to different people, or maybe you talk to different homeowners or something along those lines. Okay, and it can be anything. But I do also feel like your coworkers secretly think that you're constantly shifting and constantly changing, and you are very singularly focused on your journey and your ultimate goal. and nothing's gonna stop you. Like, you're gonna lash out if anybody gets in your way, and with reason, right? Like, there's validation to that, because it's like when people are trying to stop you from succeeding, you have to stand up for yourself. And if you can't stand up for yourself, you're gonna sidestep them, and it's gonna be a miss, right, for them. But that's the feeling that I'm getting right now. It's a very powerful feeling. Also, like, I'm seeing a sidewinder here with the position that this rattlesnake is in. I'm seeing a sidewinder, and if you've ever seen a sidewinder go across the sand, like, they literally keep the shape, but they move. That's why they're called sidewinders, because they move to the side like that. It's very, very beautiful to watch if you've ever seen that. I know a lot of people don't like reptiles, and that's fine, but I find beauty in all of the creatures that exist, because they're here for a reason. And so, but that's what it feels like you don't necessarily go in a straight line. Like, you're going through life kind of like this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, serpentine, serpentine, serpentine. So it's like, if anybody's trying to take cheap shots at you, if anybody's trying to prevent you from succeeding, if anybody's trying to get in your way, you're literally serpentining around them, right? Like, basically they're a big cone and you just go around it. You're not trying to go through it, you're going around it. And you've learned how to do so because you're very intelligent. Like, there's an energy that's coming through where your coworkers secretly think that you're very intelligent, and they're also in awe of that too. Okay, so let's take a look at what this card says from the book. Rattlesnake. Whoa, I was there, and then, yeah. Okay. It says the foundation for compassion is an awareness that suffering is a natural part of life, whether through the empathetic appreciation of another being's pain or the experience of having suffered oneself. That's what I was feeling. It's like you tap into the room, like you can read the room energetically, emotionally, and spiritually. And which beings haven't at times felt the pain or sorrow that is an aspect of living on the planet. The deeper you go into the soul of another, the more you can feel what they feel, yet paradoxically maintain a certain distance or objectivity. A true healer must heal from the heart, no matter what technological, logistical, physical, or shamanic tools they use. The experiences that you're going through now or have just completed are all preparation for you to open your heart to the suffering around you and do your part in alleviating it. Ooh, you know what? Some of you could be doing like some sort of volunteer work, and that's what, your coworkers, maybe you've talked to them about that, and that's another thing, like, oh, that's something that not very many people would do. It says you'll find that you're increasingly being asked to offer your time and energy to help heal others, including not only people, but also animals, plant beings, tree people, and ultimately our Mother Earth. Some of this healing power will also go to mend the rifts that exist between races, ethnicities, and other species. You'll notice more and more how often your hands will spontaneously feel energized, experiencing it as heat or a tingling sensation. That is the power of spirit working through you. Allow it to guide you in whatever the focus of your healing is, whether you're simply placing a hand on the shoulder of a friend or more extensively and directly involving yourself in another being's health. So the initiation is healing, respect, and transformation, resurrection, shedding, detachment, death, rebirth, sexuality, renewal, transmutation, clairsentience, agility, wisdom, creativity, and primal energy. So very transformative energy that you have, very, very healing energy that you have. And honestly, I feel that across the collective, that's something that's been coming up in the collective, is stepping up into the healers that we are, especially those of us that identify with being a light worker. We can't deny it now, for sure. All right, so let's get this set up. Sure, we're in frame. Okay, so for pile 1, we have this dice with the 10th house on it. We have this little banjo pin for you to choose from. Pile 2, we have this dice with the 6th house on it. Or we have this yellow jasper solar plexus chakra gemstone with the seed sound Ram on it for you to choose from. Pile 3, we have this dice with the 1st house on it. Or we have this little turquoise horse pin for you to choose from. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and whichever pile you felt called to, that should be the one for you, and I will see you there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 10th house on it, or perhaps you felt called to this little banjo pin, or maybe you felt called to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on what do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say. We're all here sharing this human experience together. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're new, thanks so much for joining us. I do things differently here on this channel, so there might be triggering statements that do arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. If the message does happen to resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply honored to have you here with me. So with that being said, my goodness, that scared me. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hop to it, but it's so interesting. I don't know if you heard that noise. I wonder if the camera picked it up. But I have the dog's collars, their walking collars, hanging on those little hooks that you can put on the wall that, you know, you don't nail them in or anything, they're just stuck on. And it literally just fell. It's been hanging on the wall for as long as I've had this rig. And so we're looking at what, 5 years? It's been hanging up there, just randomly broke off. So I feel like that's the thing, like, your coworkers secretly think that they dropped the ball when it came to you. So there could have been where maybe when you first got hired, everybody was kind of giving you the cold shoulder, or they were scared, right? Like they were scared of you, or they wanted you to be afraid of them because they felt like they had far more experience than you did in the field that you're working in. And I feel like right now, with that coming out, like, they're realizing they dropped the ball because your stats and your performance is speaking for itself. And they wish that they had opened the door up to that friendship with you, but they've made it very clear that there's like a separation between you and between them. And it's because at first they wanted to be the big dogs. And now they're secretly thinking that you're somebody that they could have had in their... It sounds weird to put it this way, but this is how it's coming through, but in their pocket as a resource. Like they could have come to you for resources and help and assistance. And now they can't because they've created that clear line or that clear division. What do your coworkers secretly think of you but won't say, pile 1? What do your coworkers secretly think of you but won't say? Okay. So we've got the 5th house, we've got Pisces energy in the North Node. Yeah, like you're someone who you're a powerhouse when it comes to what you're doing. Like there was a lot of snap judgments about you when you first started. So it could just be, you know, judging a book by its cover. You don't look like you're going to have as much experience as you do. You could be young and have done a lot of self-study, or you could look younger than you are, and people automatically think that you're unexperienced because of your looks, but you're actually much older, mature, and experienced than people would realize. But whatever the case is, it's just they really had a snap judgment on you that you did not have the experience that they had. And now, as time keeps going and moving forward, they recognize that you're someone who is capable of leading the teams or leading the people at this job or at this career, at this position. And they're regretting how they treated you. They're regretting what they said or the division that they made. They also feel incredibly guilty because they recognize now that they could have actually moved up with you in tandem or as a joint effort if they had just allowed you in, or allowed an opportunity for you guys to connect on that level. And now they can't, right? You're moving on with this North Node energy. You're moving on. You're leaving them behind. You're stepping out of the comfort zone. You are overcoming, you know, any kind of blockages and barriers there, and you're not letting it hold you back. And I feel like you're also stepping into a place of self-belief, which at some point was very challenging for you along this journey. And maybe they were feeding off of that as well, right? When you first started, if you had a hard time believing in yourself or trusting that you knew what you knew, or that you were capable, or that you were enough even, right? There are people who feed off of that and they latch onto that, and then they use that as a means to stay in control or to have a better position in life, or to, you know, again, it feels like I want to be the big bad wolf here. So I feel like you really got booted out when you first got hired on, but it might have been very lonely for you, and it might have been really overwhelming for you because you didn't have anybody you felt you could go and ask. Like if you tried to ask people, they were just like, oh my gosh, like this is so simple, you should have known this, but it was about policies with the company or whatever, right? And I feel like you had to learn by yourself, and that made you even more resourceful. That you were already resourceful and you already had what you needed. But anytime we start a new position, right, we have to learn the basics of that company, whatever that is. And so I feel like that was the thing, is like, and no one wanted to help you with that. And so you had to figure that out on your own. And that just aided your experience even more. And you became incredibly resourceful by yourself, and through all of that, you had to learn how to intuitively move about the job. And so they're secretly thinking that you're incredibly intuitive. You know what to do when things get tough, but also that you know what to do when people create tough situations for you, and you don't bat an eye. You don't bat an eye. And you still come in a very friendly manner. You're very cordial with everybody. Like, even though they may have separated, you know, put that separation in the sand or drew the line in the sand, like, you're still friendly with them, or you're maybe not friendly, but I do feel like you are cordial with them. And I heard amenable. Is that the right word? Amenable? Maybe. Right? And you're someone that's not, right? I have to work with these people. I'm not going to come in and create HE double hockey stick because I'm working with these people, right? Like, I'm going to focus on what I need to, put my head down and do the work that I need to do. But for them, the people around you, like, it's weird because there's like a separation in energy here where there's some that feel like you're this very bright, goofy, fun person, and then there are others who are like, oh my gosh, like, I really dropped the ball with this one. I really dropped the ball with pile one. They know what they're doing. I never in a million years thought that this person would have known what they were doing when they came in. You know, and that's hard. That's hard. I definitely understand how that goes. I had this position once. I worked in customer service for 12 years on the phones, right? So I was in call centers for a long time. And I remember the last call center that I worked for, I got hired on because of my experience, and it was a really cool job. Like, I really appreciated it. But I'll never forget, there was a woman there, and she had only been hired 6 months before I had been hired, and that was her very first call center job. And when I came in, I immediately went to the top of stats because we controlled our own caller, our own dialer, and I'd come from an automatic dialer situation. So it was like I was used to constantly taking back-to-back calls, and they're basically like, you can take a call, have a break, take a call, have a break. And I was like, are you serious? They're like, yeah. And so I would just put all my calls up right, and I get all my call time log, which was 4 hours. We had to get 4 hours of call time log, which I was used to having 8 hours plus call time log. And so I would come in and I would just blow through all of my calls in the morning. And then the last half of the day, I was just kind of just chilling and making a call every 45 minutes just so that, it kept the dialer active. And I remember she was so mad. She even went to the team lead and she's like, what is her problem? Like, she thinks she's better than everybody and this, that, and the other. And finally I asked her, I said, what's your problem? And she's like, because I've been here for 6 months and you shouldn't be as good as me. And I was like, I've been working in call centers for over 10 years. Her mouth dropped and she had no idea. She was like, oh, I thought this was your first call center job. And I was like, no, not at all. And it created such an odd dynamic between us. And I just never talked to her after that because she made it very clear that she was just, again, those snap judgments. I feel like that's something like what you went through. It was like you had background experience, but there was someone that made a snap judgment on you. And then it was like other people were like, wow, pile one, they know what they're doing. And they like having you around, but there's really a strong energy that's coming in here that has a problem because they really believed that you were stereotype or that you didn't know what you were doing or that, there's just a weird energy coming in here. So it could just be one coworker here, but we'll see. Let's get some cards out and see what else comes through. What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? It's just hard. It's hard because you don't know what people have gone through in their lives, right? Like, just because you're meeting them for the first time doesn't mean that this person didn't have a life before they met you. But oftentimes, because of that, because we're meeting someone for the first time, like, our mind automatically says, like, oh, this person doesn't have anything before the moment we met. Like, for some reason, that's where our story starts with them, and that's where obviously their story starts all over, right? But that's not it. And it's just something that society has basically pushed on us, and oftentimes we're doing it subconsciously. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the Hermit in reverse on the bottom here. Yeah, so there's someone here, like, they've been exercising extreme caution when it comes to you. And the reasons, it's because they feel like there's like this energy where they feel like they did the bad thing. I did the bad thing when it came to pile one. I gave up on pile one, or I distanced myself from pile one. And pile one actually has a lot of resources that would help us all get further ahead. And I feel like there's also some people who you work with that really appreciate that. Like, they're like, I'm so glad I can talk to pile one. I'm so glad that I can come and ask pile one for questions and advice and guidance, and they give it to me. But it also feels like you might, or I feel like many of you aren't necessarily in a leadership position. I like, maybe there's some of you here that are, but I feel like you're just a natural leader. Okay, like, that's what it feels like here. And so your coworkers are secretly thinking that you're a natural leader, and that's why they come to you. But there's also really heavy energy that's coming in that really has had a problem with you since day one. And it's because they're feeling the backlash of their judgment on you, because they maybe had spread rumors about you, like, oh, pile one's not going to succeed, like, they don't know what's going on. And then suddenly, like that, right? Like I was telling you, like, you went from being at the bottom of the totem pole and suddenly climbing the ranks very quickly without any hesitation, and blew everybody's minds. And that's why your higher ups are like, this is exactly why we hired you, pile one. We knew that you were going to do well here. And so there's someone here that's definitely exercising extreme caution. Okay. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Mm. They don't want to change. They're mentally, so this could be someone you work really close with. Maybe this is your boss, right? This could be your boss. It could be, I know that we're doing a coworkers, but it's interesting because I'm getting a message here where it's like, this is someone you work really closely with, which is why it made me feel like it was your boss. Or this could be a team member. Like you maybe have a team, you work in pods or something like that. And this is a direct team member. But they feel, okay, so they feel like they know it all. And they feel like they should have gotten the raise or the promotion or the accolades that you got. And so this person is putting it on you. And I feel like you need a reminder or a confirmation here that your intuition has been telling you that you're right about this person. They feel like you've trapped them in a never-ending cycle, but it's not you. Like, that's what Source is saying here. It's not you. You're just being you and being authentic to yourself. And this person feels like they don't have any options now because you took what they wanted, but you didn't take it because it was supposed to be yours. Okay, so it does feel like this is just focusing on one person here. It could be your whole team feels this way too, or all the people you work with feel this way, but I just really feel like there's one person here that's coming through. So if you're looking for like everybody that you work with, you might resonate with one of the other piles too, but this just feels like one person coming in here. Yeah, they really feel stuck because they work with you. Like, there's no overcoming pile one, or there's no outdoing pile one. This is someone that's put a lot of competition between you and them. Like, every day they come in and they're like, I'm going to outdo pile one's stats, or I'm going to outdo pile one's performance. I'm going to sell more than pile one. This is what they're secretly thinking every day that they come in, and every day they don't. And I feel like it's because you don't realize that this person's put you in competition, number one, or if you do, you just don't care. You're just doing what you do best, right? And using your experience as such. And this person is they're very greedy. Like, they're very self-centered and egotistical, and they want the attention on them. And so with the attention being on you, it's really difficult for them, but they're in this place of being stuck in a weird paradox because they hate the fact that you're getting all the attention and that you're getting all the recognition, but they also can't stand the fact that they made it clear that you two would never get along, because now they want to be able to talk to you like some of the other teammates do or some of your other coworkers do. They want to be able to share in that wisdom with you, but they just can't. So this is someone who watches you often from far. They watch as you help other people, and they watch as you lead other people. And I feel like this is going to be someone who watches you become a manager or a boss or a leader or a team lead or a foreman or moving up the ranks, right? Or even higher CEO status, VP, president, all those things. Like, they're going to watch as you raise up the ranks, and they're going to have to watch from the shadows. It's unfortunate, but I feel like Source wants you to know that your intuition's been telling you about this person, and that it's okay for you to keep distance from this person, and it's fine for you to stay cordial with this person, but not inviting this person in, because I feel like if you invited this person in, they would do everything that they could to drown you. Like, they would try to stand on your shoulders to push you under the water and drown you, and that's something that they're just trying to scramble to be seen. This person could be a Leo. You could be a Leo. You could have Leo in the 6th house, in the 10th house, in the 4th house, in the 9th house. You could have Leo or Aquarius north or south nodes. You could have a Pisces moon. A Cancer rising is coming in. Okay. But this is something like you're being seen. It's your time right now. And your coworkers secretly thinking that it's not fair. like the main thing is they feel like it's not fair that you're being seen, that you're being recognized, and that you're moving up. You know what? You worked hard. You deserve it. Bald eagle, form a strong foundation. Wow. I'm going to try that again. It says, from a strong foundation, you may build anything. Yeah, exactly. Your experience is unparalleled, right? But you're also open-minded. So it's like, I feel like you're not afraid to learn new things that help you in your company, in your business, in your position. Like, you're open to learning new things. Like, you're not trying to sit over here and say, I know it all. But there's someone here who's coming from that energy, like, I know it all and no one can know more than me, right? And that's such a poverty mindset. Square, a challenging situation, a mountain to climb. Yeah. I feel like this is someone that you don't really like working with, and they don't like working with you either, but they do feel like they dropped the ball. They feel like they could have, they're in this energy right now where they think that they could have changed things if they had acted differently, which it probably would have. But I also feel like eventually, no matter what, your intuition would have alerted you to the truth of this person. And that's that they're trying to use anything and everybody as a springboard to move forward. Yeah, it just feels like a warning. This feels like a warning. Alright, what does your coworker secretly think of you but won't say? Thank you. Yeah, your guardian angel coming in here. You are not alone. This is an intuitive message for you. So it's not necessarily about everyone you work with. It's just a warning here, and it's giving you guidance that it's okay, because maybe there's some guilt that you're fighting, like, oh, you know, I could have been more open with this person. I could have helped this person more. I could have done this, but there was always something that was holding you back from helping them or being there for them. There's a reason for that, and trust that right now. Child orphan, like independence based on learning to go it alone. Yeah, it's what I was feeling. Like, you had to do this alone. You had to become resourceful. Conquering the fear of surviving. The shadow is feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Yeah, so whoever this is, they're very immature in the way that they show up for work. They're very immature in the way they show up in regards to business and anything in life as well. So let's see what's on the bottom here. Freedom. Yeah, again, so your guardian angel is coming in with this message. It says you need to have more flexibility with your schedule and income. Being self-employed is ideal. Time off will help you get clear. This message makes me feel like this is confirmation to you having to gain your own resources. So there is a lot of employees that you work with that feel like you've had to become incredibly resourceful and you've had to learn on your own how to do it. And then there's an energy here that's wishing that they had, you know, they had opened that door when they had an opportunity, but now they're no longer a part of your growth, right? So we have success here. Yeah, you're being successful. So a lot of your coworkers do secretly think that you're incredibly successful. You're very capable. You're very knowledgeable. You're very smart. You're very innovative. On the bottom, rest. And that's the other thing. I do feel like there's some energy here where there's some coworkers that secretly think that you overwork yourself. Like, you may work a lot of hours. Like, I was getting that keeping a beginner's mindset type energy where you're always open to learning new things about the job that you work in. So you could do that outside of office hours, and that they're saying that it's okay for you to rest, right? Painted stork. Parenthood and caring for family brings much joy. So I do feel like the reason you're showing up in this way is because you're doing it for your family. And so your coworkers do secretly think that you are a family person and that your family is the most important thing. And that's why if someone's trying to place you in a state of competition, it just doesn't faze you for the least bit, because you're doing this for your family. or for your future family, or for yourself, because you're your own family, right? And that's the only thing that matters. It's not about trying to outdo someone else. It's about doing the best that you can for yourself. And there's a lot of coworkers who see that you could also work in a family business, and this could be family where there's like a sibling here that's feeling this way about you. Okay. Aquarius, yeah. So you could have Aquarius or Leo in the north or south nodes. We have originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. Yeah, very innovative, unique. So your coworkers do secretly think that you're incredibly unique, you're different, you have a lot to bring to the table. Reflection. Take time to revisit the past and figure out what you want to do. Knowing what you don't like will show you what you truly love. And that's the thing, like, I feel like with this reflection card, this is showing that you have a lot of past experience. You've already looked to your past. You've allowed your past to guide you into this moment and to give you the wisdom that you have currently. So there's one that's jealous about this. There's one that's really angry that you have this past experience, but most of your coworkers are incredibly grateful for this past experience because it allows you to come to them or them to come to you to ask for that guidance that they need or that help. Sometimes there's some that just, they need help and you're willing to help them. Traveler, move in a different direction or a new direction. Yeah. Very well-rounded. Very worldly. You've been around the block. This is not your first rodeo. And for people to treat you or to act like it is, like they're just being ignorant, and that's that regard. But again, it feels like maybe you don't look as old as you are, or you have a very youthful spirit about you, and so people might think that you're more naive than you truly are. And that's coming through as well here. But you're very well traveled, you're very well versed, you're a very well-rounded person, and that's what your coworkers do secretly think about you but won't say. You could also speak multiple languages here with the traveler card, or you've traveled to many different countries. So you have experienced different cultures and different people, and so you know how to connect with anybody and everybody. Queen, I love this energy. Radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. The shadows becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. So you're dealing with someone who's in their shadow here, right? They want to be controlling and demanding, but you're coming from this very benevolent place. You're not only protecting yourself, you're protecting your family, and you're protecting the people who do want to have you as a part of their journey. And you're really on their path of purpose. Right now, whatever this chapter is in your life, it's meant to be as it is. And I do feel like there's really good things that are coming for you. So we're going to take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book. We're going to see what it says. Grooves. Express yourself through rhythm, movement, by drumming and dancing. I love this confirmation. You could work in the music industry, right? But you got the banjo here, and then this is a musical card talking about music. All right, let's see what this says. Gross. Gross? Is it gross? Is it gross? I don't know. It's something. It's to the D, to the G, to the GGG. I'm in such a goofy mood today. All right, it says express yourself through rhythm and movement by drumming and dancing. You could be a shaman. You could do journeys as well. Like that's something that helps you really tap into your intuition, or that's something that you've been getting nudged to do, is to connect to your higher self through journeying. So this is a big green light for that. It says your first experience in life in a physical body was with rhythm and movement, the vibrations of your mother's heartbeat and her voice, and the pulsing of her breathing, and the fluid movement of the placenta sea that enveloped you. You would flow with harmony or disharmony of her moods and movements. If you ever tried drumming or any percussion, dancing, or the two together, you know that they touch something very deep and ancient in us, something tribal, a deep chord of being where spirit and body coincide. Rhythm and movement draw out sensual expression and merge with the sensuous world around you. By allowing yourself to surrender to the pulse of whatever rhythm is guiding you, you connect more completely to your body. So trusting your intuition, right? When you engage in some form of rhythmic dance on a regular basis, you'll feel more relaxed and in the flow of life. Doing so can also recreate and tap into the sensations you felt in the womb. revisiting that place of no thought where the movement moves you effortlessly. So cut loose and enjoy yourself. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So the associations are movement, drumming, dancing, sacred spiral, completion, fulfillment, intuition, enlightenment, rhythm, personal power, flow, vision, creativity, and healing. You may resonate with the collective message that I did at the beginning of the reading as well, which is timestamped down below if you feel called to watching that. There's no obligation at all. But I also feel like this goes in hand with that you have this very youthful spirit about you. And most of your coworkers, they really enjoy that part of you, and that you're in this place of healing others, helping others, being that leader to others. But it's a very feminine energy, a very soft leadership. Whether you're a man or a woman or whatever you identify with, none of that matters, right? It's this energy where it's very soft. Like you're not trying to bring down this wooden hammer on everybody's heads. You're just trying to help guide them through their situations. And I feel like that's why this other coworker is so jealous of you or so angry about you, because they're somebody who, if they were to be given a leadership position, they would be very unkind and cruel to their team, and that's not who you are. And so there's definitely a deep gratitude from many of your coworkers coming through here that you are who you are, and they really do appreciate that. But I do feel like there's someone here that Source was just reminding you, your guardian angel was just reminding you that it's okay to be cautious around this person. They don't necessarily have your best intentions at heart. They have their want to move up for themselves at the cost of anybody and everything else, okay? So this is what I see here for you today. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little crown emoji down below and say true leadership comes from being able to get down in the trenches and lead by example. And that's what I do. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this message today. And until next time, pile number 1, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 6th house on it, or perhaps you felt called to this yellow jasper solar plexus chakra gemstone with the seed sound Ram on it, or maybe you felt called to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on what do your coworkers secretly think of you but won't say. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. We're all here sharing this human experience together. I do things differently here on this channel, so with that being said, there may be triggering statements that do arise on the readings themselves, but there's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. If the message happens to resonate with you, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And your time, your energy, and your presence are a true blessing and a gift today. So with that, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out, what do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? Pile number 2. What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? All right, so we've got the 3rd house, we've got Libra energy, and we've got Uranus. I like this. They are secretly thinking that you can change the world. Pile number 2. You have the brains and you can make the operations to change the world. You like to bring a lot of balance and a lot of harmony. You see both sides of the situation. So you could have a leadership position and you're the boss that says, I need to hear both sides of the story. I'm not just going to believe one side and then make a judgment based on that. I'm going to listen to both sides of the story so that I can make a fair judgment for both parties involved, or all parties involved. And so your coworkers do feel like you're somebody who has the ability to change the world. They feel like you're incredibly intelligent and wise and intuitive. But you're also very discerning. So you don't just take things at face value. You're always looking in deeper for a deeper meaning. And that served you really well. You're very empathic. And you're able to connect with people. So whether that's clients, whether that is coworkers, whether that is your bosses, or just out and about, maybe at lunch, you're someone who's incredibly approachable and easy to talk to, easy to laugh with. I feel like the main thing is that they really, really enjoy your ability to see both sides. So if they come with a story to tell you, even if it's something that you can or can't help with, like, you help people to see both sides of the story. And that's something that they really appreciate. All right. You could do something online, or you could work on, so I was getting BetterHelp. That was a message that came in here. Like, maybe you work for BetterHelp, or you're like a therapist on BetterHelp, or maybe you do therapy work. You don't have to, right? That was just a really sharp message that came in suddenly. So it's for somebody. You could also be a technical support person, work in IT. You could be a scientist, someone that invents new things, someone that's working in the medical field and vaccinations. Wow. You could be working with AI. Again, these are just things that are coming in, and if I didn't name yours, then that's okay, because I could spend all day naming what I'm feeling. So I'm just going to pick the ones that feel the most important here. Alright, so what do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? They feel like you're very unique. You have a worldly view, but very unique. What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? On the bottom of the deck, we've got the King of Cups in the upright. Yes, you are very, very emotionally mature. You know, with this, the Hangman coming out in the reverse as the first card, what they secretly think is that you help them see their limited views of the world. So an example here would be they see things in black and white. Yes or no. This or that. Right or wrong. And the way that you view the world, it's so much bigger than that, right? It's more technicolor. It's more grayscale. It's more not wholly right, not wholly wrong, but maybe somewhere in the middle, right? And I know some people think that that can be you being a lukewarm person, but it's not. You're very grounded in how you see the world. Like, this is where your conviction is seeing both sides of the story so that you can gain a better understanding of the world around you. And so your coworkers are secretly thinking that you've helped them recognize their own limited points of view, while equally so there might be some coworkers that has made you butt heads with, especially with the Hangman in the reverse. But they see that. They see that also having these limited, these limited points of view have kept them in difficult cycles in their own lives. So you might actually share parts of your spiritual journey with people that you work with, which I gotta say, Pile 2, if you do, that's incredibly brave in the workforce. That's something that's really brave. But also, if you work as a therapist, that makes sense, right? Because you're trying to help someone see the whole picture and not just pinpointed on it's me against this person or it's me against the world, right? It's much bigger than that, but it's hard because so much of the time everybody's taking every little thing that doesn't resonate with us or that doesn't feel good to us. We're taking that as a personal attack against us rather than seeing it as that's just something that doesn't go, it either doesn't resonate with us or maybe it's a trigger that we need to work through, right? So I feel like this is the type of energy that you're bringing to others, and they see that you're very emotionally grounded in this viewpoint and in this thought process. Also, there's coworkers here who are very, very, very attracted to you. Men and women both are incredibly attracted to you, and that is something that I feel like you've had to set some really solid boundaries about. So there might have been people who have approached you to try to take things to that next level, or they've crossed over those lines and you've had to say, no, I can't, like, this is a professional setting, we don't do that here, you know. And I feel like that's something that also makes you even more desirable to them. And again, this isn't going to resonate with everybody, but that is something that's coming through. The other thing is that your coworkers secretly feel like they're very immature when it comes to you. So there's a lot of comparison between you and them on how you both see the world. So there could be you could have older coworkers that see you as someone who has learned something so fast that they themselves are still struggling to learn. Or you could have younger coworkers who recognize that you have the wisdom and experience of life and that that's something that they're striving to achieve in their own life. And it all comes back down to they see you as this King of Cups in the upright, someone who's very grounded in your emotional approach. You do not take any bait that people might throw out. You're not someone that's quick to anger. You're not someone that is a reaction-based response system. You come from a place of clear-headed, responding to something that happens from a calm, grounded place. And that's why I feel like a lot of your coworkers look up to you. You could also be, like I said, in a leadership position. You don't have to be, but you could be. So this is like in a situation where maybe it's very superficial situation around you, right? With both the Popess and even Libra coming out, like there's something that's very superficial around you, or where it's like people are realizing they have very superficial thoughts, right? They're more focused on material things, or they're more focused on gaining accolades, or they're more interested in getting praise from the boss in this immediate moment rather than doing things for the long term and growing in that process of letting things unfold, which again comes back to that very immature energy. But I do feel like there's a lot of gratitude here from your coworkers, that they feel grateful that you've shown them so much. But there is some that are still in this very immature energy, and they see you and they see you as like a block in their own journey, or they see you as someone that's keeping them from moving up because they cannot compete with you. Like they're just not on the same level emotionally as you, and so they're very driven by their emotions, right? So they get very angry, and their anger rules their whole day, and they take it out on everybody, clients, bosses, coworkers. Like they're very much in their projection stage. And I feel like maybe you at one point have tried to help them, but you've realized that you cannot. And that energy showing up in that way has just made it even more clear to others who are paying attention to you that you're somebody that has a lot of wisdom, and you're well-rounded and capable of handling incredibly difficult ordeals. So that could be your higher-ups that are looking at that, but I feel like there's many coworkers who do praise you for having you in their lives or having you at work because they trust you and they know that you're not going to go around and try to create difficulties for them. Like you're not going around trying to hurt them or anything like that, even though there might be some gossip about you from people who are just jealous or upset about you. The main thing is though, is that like how you've impacted the way people think in your work environment. That's the main thing that's standing out here, is how you have impacted the way that they see the world. So especially true if you work in a scientific field, whatever that could be. Like you have a whole new way, a whole new world. You have a whole new way of looking at something here, and It's bringing in, like, if people are struggling with, say, like some sort of equation, you see the equation complete and you've given them that completion to the equation. They're like, oh, I never thought to look at it that way. Or if it is a scientifical approach, I don't even think that's a word. If it's a scientific approach to, you know, like I was saying, like maybe a vaccine or something like that, you have it in your head or you have it in your mind. You're like, we need to try it this way first. And they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that side of things. So you bring a whole new vision to wherever you work at, even if you don't work in science or you're not somebody that is helping people in that way. Like, you just bring this new version of looking at this position, and that's helped so many people see that when we look outside of the box, it gives us the freedom to be far more creative and innovative. And that is something that's also pouring into their lives as well outside of work. So definitely a very positive energy, even though we've got cards in the reverse. You know, and that's the thing. It's never even look to it, well, if they're all in the upright, then that's all good. And if they're all in the reverse, that's all bad, because the equal can be opposite and true, right? So I never say, oh my gosh, they're all bad. It's all about the energy that's coming through here. We have Raven. Listen to your intuition to receive a message from the world of spirit or a friend. So again, feeling like you're incredibly intuitive and very, very clear about the wisdom or the guidance that you're receiving. So your coworkers recognize that you're tapped in to something that's much more mystical than they could have ever imagined. And it's very unique. Kill, build, toucan, take time out for fun. Yeah, so you might have resonated with some of the messages in pile one. Pile one was a very different energy for sure, but you have this sense of being very playful and very friendly and very approachable, like getting also everybody involved in teamwork, right? Community with Uranus energy here. Like, everybody, let's work together. Let's build this together. We're not a singular. We're a community of people trying to become a better version of ourselves. Let's do this together. All right, let's see what else comes out for you. Pile number 2. Sextile, combination of tension and flow, potential in a rewarding situation. So it makes sense as to why I was feeling that there's kind of both sides here, right? There's people who are super glad that you're on their team, that you're working with them every day. They really enjoy seeing you every day. You're a light in the office, you're a light in the job. And then there's some that are still in that very immature projection energy where it's you're the bane of their existence, even though it has nothing to do with you. Angel, stop, baby. Thank you. And that's why it's like that combination of tension and flow. But it's actually somewhere where you found a way to thrive and excel. So I feel like for you, the challenge is worth it. Even if it's challenging people, it's still worth it. Like, you need to be challenged all the time. Your mind needs to be challenged all the time. Like, you're a problem solver, and you're always looking to new equations or looking to new formulas or looking to new ideas, whatever it is. Like, you're very much someone who has a mind that wants to solve a problem. You could be really good at crosswords or really, really, really savvy when it comes to mathematical equations. So we have Shapeshifter coming out. Transform and unveil your gifts. Yeah. So they do feel like, again, like you're something mystical and magical and unique. You see things that other people don't. And it's the way that you think, and it's the way that you live your life, and it's how you're always open. And I feel like you're not afraid to make mistakes. Like, maybe at one point you were in your life, but I don't feel like you are now, Pile 2. Like, you're willing to make a mistake if it'll give you insight to a solution. And that's how you look at it. Like, this gives you insight to a solution, or to a new way of trying things, or to a new way of exploration. And so your coworkers do see you as someone who's very, very tapped in, capable of change on the dime, and also someone who's a bit of an adventurer. Mountains, stand your ground. Yeah, and you know, you've gone through some very difficult things, so I just feel like this is, you see how these mountains are gray here and these ones are more brown? I feel like everybody that is looking at this from this place of like, oh, it's impossible, we can never do that. You're the one that sees it upside down, flipped around, and inside out, and that's what gives you insight to a deeper truth or deeper understanding of whatever it is that you do at work. You can have a very creative job to, like, where you have to use your mind, you have to use your problem solving skills every day. Like, that's something that you know, like, are constantly exercising. I feel like you excel in that. But I feel like it's two sides of the same coin, but you're helping everybody see a more positive side of the coin. And that's what your coworkers secretly think. Like, you coming in helps them start seeing the color, right? We were talking about that. It's not just black and white, it's grayscale, you know, like it's technicolor. There's so much more to it than just being yes or no, right or wrong, right? And I do feel like a lot of your coworkers are really grateful for you because you're giving them insights to a better version of how they can show up to a better version of life, a better version of your day-to-day. Okay, this card wants to come out too, so we'll take it. Success! The path you are on will bring you success and prosperity if you just keep going. Lots of little steps take you a long way. You're on track. So your coworkers do see you as someone who's very successful. A singular, like, mindset. You are very focused on the outcome. But the outcome is not what, like, if you don't reach the outcome, it's like you're shooting for the stars. And if you don't reach the stars, but you land on the moon, like, you feel like you've made progress because now you can shoot from the moon to another star. But if you land on another moon, you've made progress. Like, that's kind of the way you see life and your work. At least that's how your coworkers feel like you see life around you. Like, you see everything as an opportunity. You see everything as something that is worth exploring, worth learning about. Healer. You may also resonate with the collective message at the beginning. If you didn't catch that, it's timestamped down in the description box. Only if you feel called to it, right? But we have healer energy, a passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. In the shadows, taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. So I do feel like you're helping to heal people, and that's why it's like not just seeing things in black and white anymore, but seeing the whole color, the color spectrum of life, not just experiencing fear or love, but knowing that it's okay to experience the whole spectrum of human emotions, right? That's what this feels like. It's like you're helping them see the whole spectrum for what it is, rather than all the way, right? Libra energy is the scales, rather than one side to the other, finding this middle ground. Like, why can't we be balanced and even here? Okay, and then we're going to get one of these. Fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. Go on and fly. Fly right into the future. Yeah, you are someone that is very innovative. You're taking the world into a new future. And that, like, eagle energy, like seeing things from a higher perspective. Right? Okay, cleanse. Okay, this goes hand in hand with the healer energy. But again, like this balance, like even with the mountain, look at this. Even with the mountain energy, look at this, how it's all split. Do you see the line? You see the line here? So finding this middle ground, that's what your coworkers secretly think about you, is like you're someone who walks the middle ground. And that is a place where we can find strength and resolve and more efficiency to our own work habits and our own work ethic. All right, let's see what we've got. Fixed energy. Yeah. Stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability with Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So you're very stable presence at work. You're someone who doesn't miss very many days, if any. Like, you could be someone that doesn't even use up your vacation until it's necessary, right? Like, you lose it if you don't use it. And so you might be like, oh, okay, I guess I'll take a staycation. I do feel like you really like what you do for work. And it's not hard for you to keep showing up, right? Like, you really enjoy it. You enjoy the people you work with. You enjoy how it challenges your mind. Real passion. Yeah, you're very passionate about it. So stop wasting time in dead-end jobs. Find your true passion. It's fine to experiment, but don't settle for less than you think you truly deserve. It's funny that this card says it's fine to experiment. And even Uranus energy talks about, you know, scientists who experiment. And so that's something else that's coming in. Like, you're always experimenting with new ideas. In the flow. The universe is sending you help. Tap into your inner power and go deeper to create the purposeful life you really want to have. So your coworkers do secretly think you're very tapped in. I mean, especially with Shapeshifter, Raven, and In the Flow. Like, they feel like you're tapping into... I just heard existential existence. So, okay. What are you doing? Are you like a physicist or something? Whoa. Okay. So, no, I just feel like it's just this energy where you are very, you're very smart. You're incredibly smart. I feel like not a lot of people get to experience just how truly smart you are until you're able to use it for your job or for your career or for what it is that you're building here. And using it for what you're doing, it's like people realize, whoa, Pile 2 is on a whole different level than we are. But they look up to you and they admire you a lot. Judge. Imbalance. What? Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Source. Thank you so much. Balancing justice. You know what? You could be a detective too. That is something that is coming in here. You could be a detective. You could be a private eye, right? Using your detection skills, right? That still takes incredible intelligence and problem solving. It says balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. And that's what I got with the Libra energy at the beginning. You'll listen to both sides of the story, right? Seeing two sides of the same coin. Even saw that here. Even with the cleanse energy, two sides of the same coin. It's like there is no one over the other. We have to find, maybe that's the line of truth, right? You walk the line of truth. That's what you're trying to walk there. The shadow is offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. So you could have people who do try to take advantage of you and get you into this energy, but you're always coming from this very fair and balanced place. Very intuitive. Like, maybe there's something, right? Like, they say a cop's intuition or a mother's intuition. Like, there's something here where there's like maybe a common phrase that has to do with intuition that you're always hearing from your coworkers. Like, oh, must be a cop's intuition, or it must be a mother's intuition, or it must be a parent's intuition, right? And you're just like, oh yeah, haha. But this is your state of Zen, is problem solving. It's literally where you're tapped into source, is when you're letting all the numbers fly around your head, or where you're letting all the scenarios fly around your head and show you. You let the problem show you the answer. And that's like so cool. Whoa, that is so cool. Protection. Yeah. So they feel very secure and safe with you. Right? Your stable presence in their lives. And most of your coworkers are incredibly grateful that you're there for them and that you help and that you're just this constant presence that's there. You're someone that they can look up to. You might be someone that's much older. You could be nearing the age of retirement too. This is just a very specific message that's coming in. But many others of you, it's just you're someone that a lot of people are willing to come into work because you're there, and that feels like a lot of pressure, I know, but it's not meant to. It's just because you're a light in their life, and they really do admire you so much. They admire your brain. You got a sexy brain, okay, Pile 2? Own it. Own that you got a sexy brain. In fact, if you feel that, leave the little brain emoji down below and just say, I have a sexy brain. Say it, because you do. You do, okay? Own it. So let's take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book and we're going to see what it says. Octopus. I love this. And aren't octopuses like super smart too? Like they're super intelligent. Practice shape-shifting, and we got the shapeshifter card, by altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. You could be an undercover cop too. That's coming in. Wow. Got some cool work roads here, y'all. I'm glad it's you, because I don't know if personally I could do stuff like that, but I always think it's fascinating, right? Like, and I think that's just how it is, right? We need doctors, but not everybody can be a doctor, but it's still fascinating, and it's still something to be proud of if that's the route that you took. Like therapists, it's something to be proud of that that's the route that you took. You physically took that route. Like if you're an undercover cop, like that's something you physically decided to do. And it's so admirable. I hope you know that. It's so admirable. It says to become adept at shape-shifting, it's necessary to remain flexible and resilient. And that's your mind. Like you let it help you solve the problem. Like you're resilient and you're flexible. I can see your mind working. It's just so cool. And be willing to practice different identities by altering your way of dressing, your hairstyle, your demeanor, and your mannerisms. Particularly focus on your body language and voice qualities. Experiment. Something about experimentation here. By first making small changes on any of these aspects and watch what happens. You can also become skilled in modifying your aura, the energy field around you, by intentionally contracting and expanding it. When you practice these things, sometimes even your friends won't recognize you. You can even get so good at camouflage that you become invisible to others. Everyone has numerous personas through which they operate, and you're no different. It's a matter of being conscious of those personas and modifying them through the art of shapeshifting. Just like actors do. You could be an actor. Okay. Study other people and notice their mannerisms, clothing style, and how they walk and carry themselves. Observe animals and their behaviors and try to mimic them. Developing this ability can help you more readily adapt to the various situations you encounter. Again, problem solving. That's clear-cut problem solving right there. Right? Thus enabling you to deal with them more effectively. Let yourself be the actor in your everyday life. Have fun with it. Just remember who you are at the core. And your associations are disguise, secretiveness, camouflage, solitude, evolvement, flexibility, regeneration, protection, intelligence, sacrifice, and efficiency. Yeah, so you help wherever you work, you help it run more efficiently. And that's something that everybody is super grateful for. Like, it might have been really chaotic before you came in, and you helped create a very solid plan and goal moving forward. And that's something that everybody that you work with is just, and so they secretly think I'm so glad Pile 2's here, because they don't really know how they did it before you came in. And again, it's not to put a whole lot of weight or anything on your shoulders, relish in that, because that's just how unique you are and how powerful that uniqueness is that you exude. So own that, right? So this is what I see for you here today. Is there an octopus emoji? I don't know if there is. If there's an octopus emoji, leave that. But if not, leave the little blackbird emoji down below. And just say, I am capable of allowing life to bring me the solution by sitting back and letting Source give me the download. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. I'd like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel Source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this truly. Thank you so much for letting me connect with you in this way, Pile 2. But until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the first house on it, or perhaps you felt called to this horse pin with the turquoise inlet, or maybe you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on what do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say. We're all here sharing this human experience together. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. I do things differently here on this channel, so with that being said, there might be triggering statements that do arise on the readings themselves. There is no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. If the message happens to resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply honored to be here sharing it with you today. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out pile number 3. What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? What do your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say? Pile 3. Got trains, planes, and automobiles coming. Okay. So a message has come out in all 3 piles is that you're very worldly or well-traveled, or maybe you're from a different country or you're from a different place, and that is something that makes you unique to your coworkers. Like maybe they all grew up in the same city, or they all come from the same place, or it's like a very small town or whatever. But there's this energy where you have experienced a lot of the world, or you just have a very worldly view. And that's something that's come out in all 3 piles. So maybe you're here watching all 3 piles, and if you are, you're part of my Purple Heart Club. Just leave a purple heart down below. I know what that means, and I just appreciate anybody who spends any amount of time with me, okay? So we've got the 5th house, we've got Cancer energy, and we've got Uranus. Even though that's been a pretty consistent message through all 3 piles, so far 1 and 2 were vastly different from one another. And for you, I do feel like there's going to be a vastly different energy here, because it's showing that you're a compassionate leader. Also, if you'd like and you feel called to, you might resonate with the collective energy at the beginning of the reading, which is timestamped down below. No obligation, but it's there for you if you feel called to it, okay? You're someone who's tapped into your inner child. Like, you are very clear about who you are, and this is what your coworkers secretly think about you. Like, you have it all figured out. Now, that doesn't mean that you do or you don't. What I'm saying is this is what they're secretly thinking, is that you have it all figured out. You know exactly who you are, you know where you want to go, and you know what you want to do. And nothing and no one is going to stop you. Ain't no stopping us now. That you're very nurturing and compassionate. You could have shared stories about codependency in your life as well, and that is something that has inspired you to make a change for the better for yourself, which is why you take healing yourself and being there for yourself and knowing what you want so seriously. But your coworkers do secretly think that you're very clever, you're very witty, you're easy to talk to, and that you're popular. Like, they really, really do feel like you're popular. And they also think that maybe drama has a tendency to find you. So maybe you've had some challenges with coworkers in the past, or they've seen you have challenges and they've just been really dramatic situations, but somehow you come out unscathed or seemingly unscathed, okay? So whether that's with bosses, other coworkers, other workers, whatever it is, like, there's situations that have come up where if it had been them going through that, they feel like they would not have ended up as good as you did out of that situation. But somehow you always make it out on top, and that somehow you are always getting praise and recognition for your hard work, and that you deserve it, right? There is some codependency that keeps coming in here, though. So whether that maybe you have codependency with a boss, or maybe there's a boss that's codependent on you and your talent, and your coworkers notice that. So you could be seen as like the teacher's pet at work, right? So the boss's pet. But they also recognize that it's kind of quite unhealthy the way that the boss approaches you all the time, like always relying on you to solve the problems, always relying on you to fix it, always relying on you to make sure that everything comes together, which is why they might feel like drama finds you a lot. And that's because it's like there's this energy that's very persistent around you, but I feel like there's no getting away from it necessarily, right? Like if it's a boss, it's like, how do you get away from it other than transferring? And you may have asked to transfer or to go to a different team or go to a different department, and it hasn't worked out for you quite yet. But somehow, whenever you're dealing with this person that has codependency tendencies towards you, you're setting boundaries and you're making it clear that you don't want to take on extra responsibility. And your coworkers just really see that as encouragement, but they also recognize that they still work out for you. So even if a boss expects you to pick up the slack and you say no, and that was your boundary, right? No, I'm not going to do that. And so you don't, even though the boss was expecting you to, like, it still works out in your favor, right? Like you didn't have to pick it up. You don't get in trouble for not picking it up. Like you've set very clear boundaries here. And so what do your coworkers secretly think of you but won't say? That you have a lot of options and they wonder why you're not taking those options. I feel like your coworkers are also very curious. Like they're trying to ask people more about you, more about your personal life, more about what you're like outside of work. Yeah. They want to know you, but they're not brave enough to ask you. It's not that you're not friendly. Like I said, I do feel like they feel like you're friendly, but I feel like the people who want to know are just being nosy. Like they don't want to know because they actually want to get to know you. They just want to know because, yeah, they want the gossip, or they want the tea on you, as if that'll explain why some situations seem to blow up at you at work, right? But I just feel like you have a very strong presence, and naturally for someone that has a weak will, you're going to butt heads with them because they're going to try and gain control over you, and that's just not how it works, especially when you're good at setting boundaries. Yeah, there's something very superficial about some of the coworkers that you work with. So your authenticity is creating a lot of resistance and dissonance with your coworkers. So there's coworkers who are like, they want to get to know you, but again, it feels like it's more about like, I want the tea on pile 3. I want to know what they're up to. I want to know what's going on outside in their life. Like I want to talk to somebody who can get me what's going on. Can I get dirt on pile 3? I can't say if that's to use it against you or not. These are just really nosy people. Like they're the people who sit inside their homes and, guilty. I've been this person. I think everybody has. But when there's like your neighbors are getting into it outside, and instead of going, and you might walk outside and watch them, but you're like the one that opens up the blinds and watches them from outside, opens the window so you can hear what they're yelling at each other, but you're still kind of hidden. That's these types of energies. Like they want to get in, they want their nose in the business, but they don't want to be seen getting involved in the business. Maybe that's why they feel like it'd be dramatic. Yeah, you have choices. Interesting. Conceited. Okay, so some of your coworkers secretly think that you're conceited. Again, and we're looking into how someone else is looking at you. That's not the truth of who you are. This is just how they feel about it. And that could come from the fact that, again, that teacher's pet, or like the boss's pet type energy. They're like, oh, well, that gives pile 3 free reign to act and be however they want, which is why they're trying to get information about you. Yeah, but you're very clearly focused on the end goal. And I feel like whatever that is, that could be a promotion, that could be a raise, that could just be whatever your daily goals are. You're very focused on that. You exude a leadership energy, for sure. So your coworkers do see you as a leader, but they also feel like that you being the favorite of somebody in the higher ups has given you free reign to act arrogant or however you want, which I don't feel like that's you being arrogant. I feel like you're just very confident in yourself. And when people, again, have a weak will, you're not going to look as you are. You're going to look what you seem like through their lens. And that's always going to come back from the emotional ego, painting a better picture of oneself rather than seeing the truth of another person that might be asking us to heal or asking us to rise up, right? But they feel like you had a choice. Like you had a choice to stay in this company, that you had a choice to try something else, but you chose this company because of the allure, or because of having someone over your shoulders, or someone who is protecting it. Like, again, a codependent situation here. And it doesn't have to be codependent. It could just seem like that to the outside world. Like they want to paint it as codependent so that they can see it through their rose-colored glasses, right? But I do feel like you do know somebody really well that could be your boss, or there is a codependent situation at play and everybody's painting it as you're the favorite, and that's giving you free reign to act however you want and to be however you want. That you're not trying to save yourself, that you're trying to use this to your advantage. This is an interesting energy. Your coworkers feel like you're someone who's actually really shallow, like you don't have a lot going on. Well, I feel like you just don't share. Again, they're nosy, right? They're being nosy. Like they want dirt on you, but there is no dirt because you don't share it with anybody. You don't share your life with anybody. Like if you have a family at home, not very many people at work know, right? Like if you've got an outside social life, not very many people at work know. Like they just know that you come into work, you do what's asked of you at work, or you have these tasks that you perform every day, and that's it. And you go home. I feel like you just don't talk a lot about yourself. You don't, because no one really asks about you. You know, this is that energy where it's like a group of women are standing there, and no beef against any women or any men, but you know, like women gossip. That's just something we talk all the time. Women are always the ones that are the worst gossips, and men have learned from women how to be terrible gossips. And I mean, I've met some really bad gossips in men too, but it's just, you see it mirror a lot of that women mentality where, and I'm not trying to be sexist here at all. But I'm just saying, like, just noticing patterns, right? And it's like that pattern of when you see a whole group of women and they're talking about someone and they're just chatting on. Oh, well, what did you find out about so-and-so? Oh, I found out about this. Did you know about this? And they're like, oh, no, but I found out about this. And they're going back and forth. And your name comes up, and it doesn't have to be just women. It could be anybody, right? But your name comes up, and they're like, oh, my gosh, what about pile 3? What have you learned about pile 3? And they're like, nothing. What have you learned about pile 3? The same, nothing. I don't know anything about them. I know their first name and their last name because it's on, you know, the work docket or whatever. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to go and we're going to see what we can find out about pile 3. And then if you step up and they're talking about someone else, they expect you to just add to the conversation like they would, and you don't, and then it leaves them baffled. So you're very private, I feel, and that's something that they secretly think, like, you just don't want anybody to know anything about you. And it's twofold. They're thinking that because they feel like maybe you have a really bad background that you don't want to share with anybody, or they're thinking that you have nothing, absolutely nothing going on, and that you're embarrassed by it. And I feel like neither are true. I mean, there could be a little bit of both in there, but I just feel like neither are true. And I feel like that's just it. Like they feel like you had better options than getting involved in this job or this career path or this position. But they're not really focused on work. Your coworkers, I feel like you pick up a lot of slack, or you notice that there's a lot of slack in the job, and you just really try to do the best that you can with what you have and your daily, your daily tasks. Like, you're trying to finish your daily tasks and do what's necessary of you. And it's like they're over there like, oh, well, why are they getting so much praise? Why are they getting recognized? Why are they this? Why are they that? And it's just I feel like it's a really difficult situation because they don't want to look at themselves and where they're lacking or where they're maybe slacking off. You've become a target for projection, but they do see you as a leader too. So there's like there's a split. There's been a lot of split energies for the readings. So there's like where some see you as a leader. They're really grateful that you're there, that you're helping other people who are working hard, right? That could be your boss. That could be the higher ups. They're just really grateful that you're actually working hard and that you're doing the job. And then there's the ones that are slacking off, that are like, oh, well, look at pile 3. They're all conceited, coming in thinking like they know everything and that they can do everything and they've got everything down pat and like they can just bowl us over and be a meanie to us. And I don't even feel like you pay any attention to them at all. It feels like middle school antics is what this feels like. Or, you know, you could say high school too. Do we ever really truly leave high school? Sometimes I wonder. You know, sometimes I wonder, we're all trying to replay that high school dynamic over and over again. And sometimes we have to really just put that down and realize we're all adults now, but not everybody's ready to do that. We have Acorn Woodpecker, accumulate in times of plenty to ensure abundance in times of scarcity. Yeah, so you're definitely getting recognized for your hard work. And so you could have gotten a raise recently, or you could have gotten a promotion recently, and everybody realized that. And there's some people here who feel like that's not fair. Like, oh, the only reason that you got that is because you were the teacher's pet. I'm going to keep using that because that's what they're saying. Oh, the teacher's pet. So that could be a nickname that's been given to some of you from some of your coworkers. Interesting. Yeah, think laterally to solve a problem. But really the thing is that, again, you're very intelligent, very witty, right? So you do have, there's some good energy around you, but this could also be higher ups as well, or people who recognize hard work, but you're not trying to stay in the same lane as everyone else. You're just trying to stay in your lane, and that might not be a straight ahead lane, right? That might be a lateral lane. And it's different because it needs to be different. I feel like you're tired too, pile 3. Like, I'm getting really exhausted. I was fine on the other 2 piles, and then like now that I'm starting to really get into your reading, like I feel like this really heavy fog, and it feels like my eyes are really heavy, but I'm not like tired. My body is awake, but like energetically right now I'm feeling like a fog come over me, like dealing with a headache. I feel like work sometimes is a headache for you. It's just kind of overwhelming, but you keep showing up because you need to, or like you're using this as a stepping stone. Yeah, Cancer, nurture, comfort, protection, right? So you're someone that's very comforting, very nurturing, and you protect the people who matter to you. But not a lot of people get to experience this at your work because they don't get very close to you. But there might be 1 or 2 people who really do get to experience this nurturing energy from you. You're very compassionate. You are someone who goes out of your way for others, right? You do help people, but again, with Cancer energy, there could be that pointing out that codependent situation again. I never know what's going to come out on these readings. Shaman, trust in higher forces. Yeah. So your coworkers do... Like, this is such a weird energy to come through with this card, but it's coming through. They're saying, oh, I'll pray for you, pile 3. These are like, oh, all of a sudden a stink bug showed up. Wow, interesting. They're so random sometimes. Yeah, so you're protected. Source is saying you're protected, but I feel like these are people who are like, maybe you have stated that you're not religious, or if they're like, oh, why don't you come to church with us? If it's a close-knit community and they're like, oh, I've never seen you at our church, or I've never seen you on Sundays or whatever like this. And you're like, yeah, because I don't go to church. And they're like, these are like people who are, oh, well, I'm going to pray for you. Like holy rollers. That's the type of energy here. Okay, and they're like, they're gossips, they think they're better than you, they think that they know better than you, they think that what a weird energy to have to deal with at work. But that's what I'm getting from the Shaman card here. It's like you are on a higher plane of existence, you're on a higher level of vibration than they are, and they're automatically labeling you as someone who is not good, or someone who's got, you know, bad juju or something like that. It's just an interesting energy. So I feel like exhaustion, like if you're dealing with people who are like that, it can be incredibly exhausting. Yeah, oh, look at this angel. Yeah. Helping those in need with no expectation of return. This is a thing, like a lot of your coworkers don't realize just how helpful you are because they don't ask. Like they've already just pinpointed you as somebody that is conceited or not worth their time or only worthy of their prayers that aren't necessarily sincere. Right? It says acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance as the shadow. Yeah. There's like this is a weird do you work in like as a mission, or do you work in a spiritual environment? Do you work in a church? Maybe you work in a church? I don't know. That's a very specific message. This came out in another pile too. Independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving, and then the shadows, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. So they're building a community, but their community, like you only belong to their community if you think the way they think, act the way they act, believe the way they believe. And I feel like there's other people around you who see you as someone, like you're friendly, but they want to know how they can, control you. And that's what they're thinking about. Like, how can I control pile number 3 to come and do the things that I want pile number 3 to do? So maybe, and it doesn't have to be church. Okay, like that, again, that was a very specific message, but this could be maybe every Friday night, the office goes out for beers, right? And it's just something that they do every Friday night and they expect everybody to comply, but maybe you don't drink, right? Maybe you're like, I don't drink, or maybe you're a recovering alcoholic or something like that. So naturally you would just not go, right? That's just not who you are. But whose business is that, right? That's nobody's business. That's your business. And if you choose not to go, you're choosing for your own well-being and your own safety. That's an immediate boundary right there. But no one needs to know that about you. Like, I mean, if you share it, cool. If you don't, cool. Like, again, it's like our medical history, right? Like, it's not anybody's business. But I just feel like a lot of people think that, oh, well, I need to know why. And so that's the thing. And so I feel like maybe if it's something like that, and you're just like, no, that's okay, guys. Thanks for inviting me, but I'm not going to go. And that's why they're thinking, oh, they're too good for us. Like, they can't come out with us, but they don't know your story, right? And I feel like, honestly, if you told them your story, like, there's two things. They'd either feel really guilty for acting or believing this way or thinking this way, or they wouldn't believe your story, right? So I feel like for you, it's just like better to stay to yourself and do what you're doing, because you're making waves doing what you're doing. Yeah, movement. You'll make good progress now. You'll be able to overcome any obstacles in your path. Big leaps forward are possible. Wow, yeah. So you're making big moves in your positions. You could be getting a raise or a promotion soon, or moving to a new department soon. That it could have been something that you've been waiting for a long time, and it's finally coming to fruition. Surrender. Yeah, so I feel like this is a message from Source. Like, this is just a reminder that it's okay to surrender. Like, you don't have to shoulder this by yourself, right? Source is here to help you carry this. Your angels are here to help you carry this. You don't have to carry the hardships at work by yourself. What an interesting message, Virgo. Integrity, reverence, and service. You're meant to be of service to others. And that's another thing, like, I feel like Source is just reminding me, like, you have something beautiful to offer, and don't doubt yourself. Regardless of who's around you, you might be surrounded by a lot of naysayers or doubting people, because you're building resilience to that right now. And sometimes that can be really challenging, but that's sometimes our chapters in our lives require us to be surrounded by people who constantly make us feel bad about ourselves. And it's not punishment. It's so that we grow a thick skin and we're able to stand up for ourselves in those situations. And I feel like you've been doing that. So keep standing up for yourself and keep reminding yourself that this is just a chapter. It's not the end of your story, right? This is just a chapter in your story. Yeah, Eagle, see things from a higher perspective here. Yeah, you could have definitely come from another pile. It's interesting. feel like Source is just reminding you to reconnect with your guidance team here too, with Eagle and Angel together. It's just reminding you that you are not alone, even if right now you feel very lonely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Source and Guardian Angels, for coming in for that. Guardian Angel, you are not alone. So again, that's how I was feeling, and then the card came out. So yeah, the energy is very clear. I feel like there's this energy that's surrounding you right now, Pile 3, where it feels very hopeless. Where it feels like things just aren't working out. It feels like things just like, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. You always have opportunities. There will always be opening doors for you. But also, regardless of me saying that and you believing that, right? What your angels and Source wants you to know is that you can always come to them and they will help you burden this, because there's a lot of really negative people around you at work right now. Flashback, yeah, people from the past return. You may work with a previous coworker, take back an old job. You get a second chance. So this is to help you heal from a past wound. Again, building resilience and thick skin. It might feel like punishment, but it never is. It never is. It's just to give us what we need so that we can deal with difficult situations moving forward. And I feel like that's the chapter in your life that you're at right now. Yeah, anger. Oh my gosh. I'm not surprised that came out at all. Yeah, it feels like you're in this job for punishment, like, or you're going through what you're going through with your coworkers for punishment, or like a codependent situation right now at work that you're dealing with. It feels like punishment, and it's not. Like, Source is reminding you this is, and the anger is the trigger itself, right? Like, that's the trigger coming through, and this reminder that when you can sit with the anger without projecting it out to everyone, but just sit with it and ask it, what are you telling me? What do I need to know from you? And let yourself receive the answer. Your guardian angels are going to help you with that. Source and your angels are going to help you with that. Your guides, they're all going to help you get that answer. I mean, even on the Virgo card, this is the only card in this deck that has the angel wings on it. Even the Trine card, where we're seeing angelic support, that doesn't have angel wings, but the Virgo card has angel wings on it. And you got angel, you have the angel wings, you have the guardian angel, the eagle, which feels like a spirit guide to me. It's just this reminder that yes, you're dealing with difficult people, but you're being given an opportunity to let go of something from the past, to surrender, with the surrender card on the bottom over there. And it may feel difficult, but asking for help from your guides is going to be very beneficial to you right now. And remembering that you don't have to give anybody any energy that you don't want to, right? So like, if they keep bothering you, you can ask them to leave you alone. You can ask them to stop, right? Like, just like, I'm just here to work. I am not here to connect with people like that. It's okay to say things like that, right? It's okay to defend yourself too. I just feel like you need that. Like, you're a very kind soul and you're very gentle. And I just feel like above all that, if you don't resonate with being kind and gentle, I just feel like you've just been hit with a lot in life. Like, it's every time life has knocked you down, in the process of standing up, it knocks you down again. In the process of standing up, it knocks you down again. And that has given you this feeling of like, I can't trust life because life is just always beating me black and blue. And in this case, it's not. It's because you're really in this process, almost like the dark night of the soul. You're clearing out a lot of baggage so that you can make space for something bigger. And I feel like Source really wants to tell you that. It wasn't so much, I mean, where they're at, they feel like you're conceited. They feel like you're superficial. They feel like you don't want to connect with them. And that maybe you might not want to connect with them, right? You might not want to. That's cool. But remember, it's from how they're feeling. That's not the truth of who you are. So let's take a look at this card. I'm going to read it from the book. We have Weasel. Wow. Be silent. Pay attention and simply observe with your eyes, ears, and physical feelings what is happening inside and all around you. So again, sitting with that anger, sitting with those emotions that arise when those triggering moments come up, it's not about the people. It's about what's going on internally. And sometimes it's hard for us to see that on the journey because we're seeing it so much outside of us. We're not realizing that that's actually a mirror that's going on inside of us, right? There's something that we need to face within ourselves. Like maybe we're being unkind to ourselves. Maybe we're being cruel to ourselves. Maybe we're not being respectful enough to ourselves, right? So when we find those answers, we can take action accordingly, and remembering that it's not meant to be easy, but the steps to getting there will always be simple. And that yes, you are capable of doing it, pile 3. I believe in you. Do you believe in you? So Weasel says, take a deep breath and release it slowly. Then take another and another. Continue to breathe steadily and slowly from your belly to your chest. Breathing this way will keep you attuned to what you feel in your body. Notice the sensations without judging or trying to change them. Be aware of how your body responds to what you see, hear, and feel around.